Hi crafty friends, my name is Hannah from Crafted in the Valley and welcome back to another TeckWrap crafting tutorial. Today I'm going to be trying something completely new to me, and that is the TeckWrap heat transfer paper. This is completely new to me, but this is the heat transfer paper for dark and light fabrics for a inkjet printer, which is what I have. So I'm going to give it a go. So let's just start with opening it up and having a look at what is inside. Okay, good. So it does come with some instructions here. So with what kind of printer that it is compatible with, the types of heating machines that you can use. So a household iron, a heat press, or a mini press. Saying it's easy to use, and some quick instructions on how to get from start to finish. Okay. So we've got a couple of parchment paper sheets here, which will be really handy for pressing if we need. So this is the heat transfer paper. So this is obviously the side that we will print on. That is the backing, just with their branding on the back, and this will be the side that we print on. So there's 15 sheets here in a pack, which is really good, but I'm very happy to see that it comes with 2 sheets of the carrier film. So this is the clear carrier film that we'll use to pick up our image once it's been printed and cut, to then transfer onto our garment to press the exact same way we would if it was HTV. This would be the clear film over the top there. So this is going to be really handy. I'm glad it comes with 2 of those in the pack as well. So we'll set all of those aside and we'll get one of our pieces of the printable heat transfer paper, and then we'll move over to the computer and have a look at the design. Okay, so this is my design, and I've chosen some incredibly beautiful blue floral bows. I'll just zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. The design itself is definitely not something that you could do using normal HTV. It's far too detailed, and the bows even have a little bit of shading in the middles there as well. So definitely something that needs to be printed rather than cut with a solid color. So I've got my bows here all ready to go, but I do need to create an offset around the bows to make sure it cuts nice and cleanly and not sort of like too close to the lines there. So I'm just going to do a very small offset around the bows so that it can cut around there, and I've left the offset black as I'm actually putting it on a black t-shirt, so that will be perfectly fine. So the next step is going to be making sure I get the right print settings so I don't muck it up. So I'm going to go into my print setup here. I'm going to turn off the add bleed and then go into my system dialog settings. So this is for Microsoft, by the way, so I don't know about Apple. It'll go into my printer preferences, and then I can select what type of paper I'm using, and then make sure I select the quality as high. And that means when I do my printing, like you see here, the image quality is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so this is my images printed, and I'm actually really happy with the quality of the image itself. I think it's going to be really nice. It's got a little bit of a sort of shading effect on it, which, you know, if you're going to be using HTV or anything like that where you have to cut plain colors, you cannot get the kind of effects that you can with using a printable heat transfer vinyl. Now that I have this printed, I can get it in my cutting machine and do the outlines and then go from there. And I'm just going to be using one of my standard tack cutting mats for this. Being that it's a paper material, you don't need anything that's too strong grip, because you want to be able to obviously peel it off of your mat once it's finished cutting. Use my roller just to flatten it out, much like I would any other project, just to make sure it's nice and flat on my cutting mat. TeckWrap also recommend using the printable iron-on dark cut setting for this printable heat transfer vinyl, so that's the one I'm going to use. So now my Cricut is cutting out my design, and I really hope I've selected the right cut setting and pressure so that it doesn't cut through too much, because that will just make things a little bit trickier, but we'll see how we go. It looks like it's going well so far. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just to be safe, is peel my mat away rather than ripping the paper straight upwards. So let's see here. So with the heat transfer paper, once you've got your design printed and cut, like you would like a HTV or any other vinyl, we're going to peel away the excess heat transfer paper that we don't need. So, ooh, wow, okay, I was not expecting it to be this kind of material once I started peeling it away. It's a very, very thin, I don't know how to describe it. It's very, very thin, but it's definitely different to normal paper, which obviously it needs to be for it to be a heat transfer. And you just peel it away like you would in here. Now this is a very simple design that I've chosen for today for my first ever attempt, but you could do something a lot more intricate with a lot of cuts in it that needs lots of different weeding and bits and pieces to come out there, but I've gone for something a little bit more easier to work with for now. So this is the heat transfer paper taken off of the backing, and then that's obviously the backing on there, which makes it suitable for both light and dark fabrics. And there are my beautiful bows. And now for the next step. So this is our transfer mask that we need to put over the top so that we can peel away and then be able to put that on our garment ready for pressing. But before I'm ready for that stage, I'm just going to place that aside for a minute. So my design is just going to be going onto a basic black t-shirt. So it's going to be for myself. And I'm just going to make sure I remove any excess lint and anything that might be on the t-shirt. So I'm just going to set my t-shirt aside. I will need to preheat this before I do my transfer, but I've got this at least mostly prepped, ready for the transfer. Okay, so now let's have a look at this carrier sheet. So this is the backing side. Oh yes, I see. So this is just the backing that we peel away, and you can feel this side in here is just a little bit sticky, and that will be what we use to pick up our design. Gently place that over the top. Then I'm just going to use my TeckWrap squeegee just to flatten it down. Now let's see how this goes. Does that peels away beautifully. Look at that. Amazing. Okay, very cool. Look at that. So I've got my design on my heat transfer mask ready to go onto my t-shirt. Being that I'm not exactly sure how much pressure I'm supposed to be using when pressing, I've got an extra additional heat resistant pad underneath my t-shirt in my AutoPress. Luckily with the information sheet it does tell you sort of roughly what sort of temperature and time to press it at, so at least I've got that as a bit of a guide. So 155 degrees ish for 15 to 20 seconds. But of course I'm going to preheat my t-shirt just to remove any excess moisture out of the fabric. Okay, so my t-shirt is ready to go. I need to grab my ruler guide. Line it up in the center. Obviously remove that. I forgot to one time and it was a terrible mistake. Okie dokie, moment of truth. Let's pop her into cook and we'll see how it goes. Now it doesn't actually say on this sheet whether or not it's a warm or cold peel, so I'm not not too sure. But let's just do a teeny tiny test in the corner. Oh my god, look at that. Amazing. Wow. Oh my god, I love it. How cool is that? Okay, just like any other heat transfer project that I would do, I'm going to pop a Teflon sheet back over my design now that the carrier sheet is removed, and just pop it back in. I'm not going to do the full 15 seconds though, full 14-15 seconds. I'm going to do like maybe 7 or 8, just because I don't want to overcook it. Oh, it's got stuck in there. Oh my god, how cool is that, you guys? Oh my god, this might be my new favorite thing. If you're used to using HTV but want to try something different just at home without having to go to the extent of getting like DTF or anything like that, TeckWrap heat transfer paper for light and dark fabrics for inkjet printers. Give it a try, it's absolutely amazing. I'm so happy with it. I hope this tutorial has helped. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.